Hello.
Oh,
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Jason. Hi, Brian.
shalom. How's everybody doing today?
I'm fine.
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Well, I would think you're pretty chilly if you're not wearing a jacket and not all that snow out there.
Yeah, I'm a hard man, Brian. I'm a hard man.
Mm. Were you a trapper?
I wish. I wish.
I like your hat, though. That's a cool hat.
Thank you.
Nice hats are nice things.
Yeah, I'm very fond of wearing hats, as Jason knows.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Which reminds me.
Yeah, I've been commissioned. I found a source of prosthetic beards.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to get a deal as a spokesperson for Kangol, but you know, they told me I was too ugly.
Well, I used to have a full beard, shaved it off in September, and because I'd had all my Christmas gigs, I'm a storyteller, and I have a show called Tales from the North Pole. And
So, do you scare the kids when you have a beard, or?
No, quite the opposite. They believe I'm the real Santa. Yeah.
But you're too skinny.
Oh well, I do have some padding.
Mm-hmm.
But that's nice of you to say. I'm not that skinny.
You're skinnier than me. I'll put that.
Anyway, so I've now been commissioned to do 2 online gigs. So I decided to get a backdrop. So I'm letting the creases fall out of it at the moment. I'm quite pleased with it. It looks good, doesn't it?
And look, Peter Lay is in Hawaii, or is it Tahiti? Where are you today, Peter? Are you Tahiti, Hawaii? Where are you?
That's Japan. That's Fuji-san in the background.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Did you get some? Did you have sushi for breakfast?
No, I had it for lunch the other day.
We have a sushi food truck at our at my farmer's market. That's really good.
Ah.
They only do hand rolls, which are the good ones because they're really easy to eat.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Peter.
How are you?
I'm good, yeah. Not too bad.
Hi, Suze.
Hi, Suze.
You're muted. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, here we are. Oh.
Did you get my list, Jason?
Yeah, and Derek's given me another 6 possible names to add on. So
Another list.
So there you go.
Wow.
Famous 5.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I better get a copy of Derek's book, hadn't I, to plug? Back in a second.
So how's life, Peter?
Yeah, all right. Hang on a minute.
So where are you based, Suze?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, me? I'm in Worcester.
All right. Okay, not too far then.
Well, long walk.
Not that it matters on Zoom, does it?
Exactly. You know. Oh, there's a book coming into view.
Just ready to flash it for everybody.
Mine arrived today.
You've been sending it out.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, here's the man himself.
Josephine's lost the link. Hang on.
Let's go off gallery. There we are.
Hi, Derek.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hey.
Hey, how is everyone?
Fine, and you?
Good.
Oh God, nervous. You know what it's like. It's like going to the dentist. Hi, Charlie. Long time no see, mate.
Yeah, it's been a long time, Derek.
Yeah, been a while.
Yeah, I'm keeping well, and you?
I'm good, and I'm glad that we've agreed on that style of hat for tonight.
Yeah, it's the right sort of hat.
Yes.
Can I go and get
Okay.
mine?
Hi, Kathy.
How are you, lads?
There we go.
Where are we? Where's Zoom? There it is. Derek,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm nervous. It's worse than when you go to a proper night and you go to the microphone. It seems more nerve-wracking when you're at home. I don't know why that is.
Well, I went to the opticians this morning. That was a strange experience.
Yeah.
Hi.
All gowned
Hello,
up.
everyone. How are you?
Patrice.
Hello.
Hi.
I didn't have the right link. Got the wrong link. I don't know why.
Hi, Josephine.
You're right, Charlie. I'm glad you
Yeah.
can make us. It looks very chilly there, but
Yeah, it's very cold.
Ooh,
Hi,
Catrice
Kathy.
is here.
trees.
Hi,
Wonderful.
hi, Brian. Hi, Josephine. Hi, Kathy.
You look so,
Hi,
you are
hi.
such a chic woman, Catrice.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
You look
Thank
very
you.
snazzy with your yellow hat, Derek. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you know, and Charlie's shown a bit of solidarity with his hat too. So, you know, yeah,
Hats are in.
hats are in, yeah.
It's spiffy.
That's for us.
Ah, Suze has disappeared. She's got a wonderful house, Suze.
Yeah.
It's a disused sort of chapel. It's unbelievable.
We're in for a
we'll
treat
see.
tonight with Sue's set. I'm sure it's going to be really entertaining.
Hi, Suze.
Suze, I'm just bigging you up here. You're going to be really entertaining tonight.
Yes, we're building you up. Ah. Peter's materializing in front of Black Eyes. Oh, he's got his hat.
There you go.
Oh, hang on a
Come on,
minute.
Jason, what's happened to yours?
Right.
Kathy, where's your hat?
I don't wear hats. Ruins your hair.
Ah, Susan's found the hat.
Um,
Hey, that's a
she's
good
out
hat.
there as well.
That's a hat and a half. Hi,
Brian, that's a nice hat, mate. A nice cap.
Susan, you going to church after this is over? That's a Sunday going to church hat if I've ever seen one.
Well, she lives in a chapel, so
Yes. True. I
Wow,
don't-
really?
yeah,
Like an old
Oh.
chapel that's been converted into your house?
yeah.
Yes. Well, it's been-
Oh my God, that must be so cool.
It's great fun.
Wow.
Did you like take the pews and then make them into your furniture and stuff like that? Like get someone to refashion the pews?
I was.
What?
It was converted a long time before I moved in.
Oh, were there any pews left when you got
Sorry?
there? Were there any pews left when you got there?
No,
Okay,
no, there's nothing.
that
of the
happens
original.
sometimes. You hear about that. People buy the old churches and then they get a furniture maker to make furniture out of all the pews.
Yay!
Nice one.
That'd be lovely.
Oh, that's good, Jason. Yes, really good.
Can't
Hi,
believe that.
Sue.
Hi,
Hi,
Sue.
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 I like Daisy Dalrymple. I think he wants to walk.
Hi, Daisy.
Hiya. How's
Hiya.
everybody?
Oh my Lord, look at this dog.
Right. Talking
Oh,
dog.
wow.
Oh,
Maybe she should have a
Lovely
play date
dog.
with our Ruby.
She should. Wow. Oh, I might be in love. Wow.
So how is everybody? Doing well?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Patrice? You're looking good. Can't believe
you.
you had the problems you had. Very good.
Yeah. Just still really tired. But at least the swelling's down. I can see you, so that's good news.
Oh gosh, so good of you to come. Brilliant.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming out, Catrice.
Oh,
Does that happen often, Catrice? Does that happen often to you?
I'm really sensitive to the environment around me, and it just so happens that we have some environmental issues coming through our vents, and it impacts me significantly.
Wow.
That's awful.
Wow.
Derek, you must be so excited for today.
I am, but it's like going to the dentist. You know, it's like it's.
It's not anything like it.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be great. Once I get going, it'll be great. But you know, I'm a bit nervous. I must admit.
Once they throw that laughing gas your way, you mean?
What's that?
Once they throw the laughing gas your way, it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's right. But some of the trips I've had to the dentist have not been so much fun, you know.
Well, I've never had laughing gas, but I can only imagine.
Way back.
Wow. So how many are we expecting, Jason?
Quite a few. We've had some possible additions from Derek a few minutes ago. So
good.
Yeah.
I hope Ziggy comes. Hi, Trevor. Sorry, I've just seen you there, Trevor. Hello.
I just had a message from Ziggy.
Yeah.
He said he'll be along in about 7 minutes.
Cool.
7 minutes. That's very precise.
That's very precise.
Yeah.
Probably means 15.
Yeah. This is where it gets really strange. So if anybody comes on and I haven't seen them, shout, because all of a sudden all the pictures change and then I don't know where anybody is and I miss people coming on.
I've just realised everybody's wearing a hat. Can I put my new hat on?
Yeah, feel free.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you get it approved from the hat committee?
Hello, Jim Paxton.
Hi there. I did not, because what did the hat committee say, sir? Oh my Lord.
Trevor, that is a hat.
Trevor, can I get one of those hats?
Yeah.
Jason's got his cowboy hat on as well.
Is that something I can order online?
That one?
No, the one you just had on, I like that. I would wear that myself.
Hi, Carol.
Oh, nice.
Off eBay, it's only about $10.
Hi, Karen.
Carol, Karen.
Hi, Jim.
Hello. Lucia. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
Just saying, if I miss anybody, it's because all the pictures go ping and into a different direction every time somebody comes in, and I'm sort of having to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, there must be an algorithm, but it seems a bit arbitrary how they move about, doesn't it?
Yeah. And yet Jason always stays in the same place.
I think it goes on who's got the best hat. Because I'm up at the top then.
It has to be Jason then.
Obviously, Jason, it goes without saying. Yeah.
Where's yours from, Derek?
No, you're looking like Woody.
We're getting echoes. It might be best to mute us all, Jason, and start again.
Okay.
I'm not here. Hello. If I sing a song, will it give us a good echo?
You haven't managed to mute everybody, Jason, but I think it might have worked.
Okay, there you go.
That was quiet, wasn't it? Well, we may be all right now. The echo might have died down. So yes, you can try unmuting yourself if you wish to say so.
Okay.
What did you say?
I said, why does it echo sometimes? Anybody know?
I think there are so many microphones all working together?
It's usually because somebody's using a laptop and there's a delay between the microphone and the processing on the laptop.
I did cause an echo once when I was on a phone call on my computer, and I forgot to hang up the phone call before the Zoom. And so the Zoom had an echo for about 10 minutes. And then I turned the volume down and just went through just to look at my email. And I noticed that the phone thing was still on. And then when I turned it off, the echo went away. But I never told anyone it was my fault. But I think that happens quite often with people where there's something else with a microphone, like a phone call or something.
Hi, Clive. Oh.
Oh,
That sound very healthy.
yeah. Clive's gone all stripy.
The definite improvement. Nice to see you, Clive.
Maybe as stupid as ever.
You're very distorted, Clive.
That's the sound.
That's my face.
Oh, Mr. Oseman.
Yeah.
Are you using a sound filter, Mr. Oseman?
Yes, is probably the answer.
Yeah. You sound a bit like you're aliens. I think they've landed again.
Really? I was messing about at the beginning, but
Warren's coming in.
no,
Hi, Gary.
I can come back in again.
Yes.
Hi.
Don't let him back in.
Quick.
Hi,
In a minute,
Stacey.
in a minute, in a minute, in a minute, in a minute, in a minute.
Brian, it's been a while.
Oh,
He's not quite here yet. Brian Reed. That was the Brian you mentioned.
no.
Different Brian.
Yes. Oh, by the way,
I haven't seen you since this morning.
I know. You know, I was typing out one of my poems from this morning, and guess what found its way into it? Two things: apple crumble and sweet corn.
Oh, honestly, that should be given a Turner Prize and a Pulitzer and a
It has
Grammy.
to- I'll just tell you, it has to do with the skunk.
Is that better, Clive?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you are in trouble.
But if Clive is in trouble, are you going to call Boris Johnson to come to send the MPs after him?
Oh dear. Doesn't sound healthy.
So on the bright side, we won't be able to hear Clive. Sorry, Clive.
Got Brian Reed there, but I haven't heard him come in. Are you there, Brian?
Got to make a cup of tea.
This is taking very long time for everybody to come in. I think actually we'll have to put the actual start date 15 minutes before we're actually due to start.
I think I might have found the problem. Is that better?
That's much
Your
better.
voice
Yeah.
is, can't see you, but your voice is perfect.
See me?
Mind you, that might be an improvement. At the moment, I can just hear you.
Wow.
Clive. Oh,
What's happening?
someone's jamming your signal.
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
I found the problem with the audio. That was I don't know how it happened, but I found it anyway. So,
Good.
so.
Oh. Brian, can you hear us yet?
He's just
Brian Reed.
Go now.
I can hear you.
He can hear us.
You can hear us?
I can hear you. Yes, I'm finally in.
Ah, welcome.
How are you?
Are you staying incognito?
No, I'll be with you shortly.
Brilliant. Lovely. I've got Simon there too, Simon Aldwick.
I thought you were going to say Simon Armitage then.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
Who is Simon Armitage? I don't know that.
He's our poet laureate, our national poet laureate.
Oh. Is he the one that you that Clive did the thing about
yeah,
the stage with Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
Has he heard that?
I doubt it, but you never know.
I don't think he follows me on Facebook or anything, so probably not. I mean, I bought all his bloody books and he's never even spoken to me.
Hi, Gail. I'm trying to keep on top of everybody that comes in. It's difficult.
Well, you have several Americans that follow you on Facebook, and that's all that matters.
Okay, at this rate, I think we're going to have to be starting at about 1:15. Patrice will be back in 2 minutes. Karen, did I say hello? If I didn't, sorry. And
you probably
Maria,
did, but I've forgotten to put my headphones on. Hello.
Clive, you're breaking up again.
Sorry now. I don't know what to do. I will give it one more go. I will come back in 2 minutes.
Can you come in on your phone if that's not working?
Fine, Clive.
Say again?
We can hear you fine.
It's just the picture that keeps going.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, we can manage without the picture, can't we, if necessary?
Yeah.
So you're fine at the moment.
Right. I can see what's happening, but I don't know how to stop it. So.
Dear.
Oops.
Hi, Brian. I can see you now. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Long time no see. It's great to see you.
All right. So you say you're going to start at 7:15, yeah?
Yeah, because we've still got lots of people to come in, so we'll give it another 7 minutes.
Cool. I'll be back shortly then. All right. Don't
okay.
worry.
By that time, Ziggy should be here because he said 7 minutes, didn't he?
Brilliant. Cheers.
7 minutes, 15 minutes ago.
Oh dear.
Chloe's coming as well.
Yeah, Chloe's coming. Did you get that as well, Jason?
Yeah, I added her to the list.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, he didn't say 7. He said, I'll be a few minutes after 7, just getting sorted.
That makes a difference. Okay. I don't know. Anybody else coming in, Jason?
Yeah, we just got, we got 2 more coming in.
We're about to go on to 2 pages.
Got it? Yep.
I got to watch.
What is that?
Don't know.
It sounds like a cat ate a baby or something.
Ivor Daniel, hi. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Oh, here's Chloe. Chloe Jacquet.
I can't see her. Oh, she's coming.
Just dialing in.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Hey, Catrice, what do you think about my new background?
Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
You have waffles on your mind.
Well, it ain't ever gonna make. I don't think it'll ever make it to Maine. To be honest. You know, it's in Pennsylvania now, but I don't think it's gonna get it to Maine ever. So I have to be sad about that.
So you're gonna make your own waffle version of Waffle House waffles.
Well, you know, one of the secrets to Waffle House waffles is that their waffle irons are very high wattage, and they have to be. They're actually wired into the walls, so you can't ever really get a house. Oh, you can never get a waffle as good as a Waffle House unless you have like an industrial waffle iron.
Thank you for that. Brian, now we know all about waffles. That's good.
Well, do you know what Waffle House is in America? It's
Sorry,
this-
I'm just answering Chloe on the chat.
Oh. Well, I might bore everyone to tears if I tell them about it. So.
I don't think waffles are particularly big over here.
Well, they're not particularly big over here necessarily, but Waffle House is this institution in the South that's basically on just about every exit on any interstate highway.
Yes.
And they say that you know how bad a hurricane is and along the Gulf Coast when the Waffle Houses start closing down, because they're open 24 hours a day and they don't close down except for the worst storms. But they're an institution. They actually have a person that works for them that goes around making sure that the music on the jukeboxes fits to their standards. And there's actually a lot of country musicians over the years that have done country music songs mentioning Waffle House. Because in some towns, it's the only thing that they have for a restaurant. And they all look alike. They have grits and hash. They're famous for their hash browns, which have a lot of different toppings that they can put on it. But you always get the same quality and the same well-cooked food whenever you go. It's a little bit greasy, but it is a greasy spoon. But it's a wonderful place, and there's a sense of comfort of going to a Waffle House.
That's cool. Right.
They make pecan waffles that are out of this world.
Say what's going to happen? Did you hear me?
Sorry?
You want to just have a run through and say what's going to happen?
Yes, I'm going to start any minute now. Okay. I think probably what we're going to do to start with is mute everybody because we're getting some background noise rather. And what I'm probably going to do is after people have performed their poems, if you'd unmute, give them a good hand clap. If you want to make any comments, please put them in the chat. I'm hoping everybody knows where the chat is at the bottom of your screen. So I think we're about to start. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the launch of a fabulous book, Wasp in My Cockpit by the fabulous Derek Dohren. It's going to be a really exciting night. I'll explain what's going to happen. I'm going to start an intro and read a poem in a minute. Then Peter Lay is going to come on and read a few things, say something and read a poem. Then we're going to have a taster of Derek, a 10-minute taster of Derek and his poetry. And then we'll go into an open mic, and we've got Jason Conway, we've got Brian Franco, we've got Catrice Greer, and we've got Maria Trib. And I did try and pronounce this right. Maria Tribojevnik. Is that wrong?
Just say Maria T.
Okay, Maria T. It is easier.
So much easier.
Would you just pronounce it though, so that I understand?
It's Trebojevic.
Trebojevic. No, that's fine. Now I know how it's said. Maria Trebojevic. Okay. Brilliant. Then we're going to have the fabulous Suze Winspear, and after her we'll have a break. And then in the second half we're going to have Ziggy Dix, and Kathy Carson on an open mic, Clive on open mic, Carol Shepherd on open mic, and finally, of course, the man himself again, Derek Dohren. So that's quite a busy night, and we're looking forward to it. I'm going to start off reading a poem that I wrote, and the title is For Derek. Now, he might remember this, but he only knows about one verse, and I have actually extended it. Just bear with me so that I've got my glasses. A while back, Derek had as his Facebook profile a photo of himself standing in front of a brick wall on which was painted a pair of turquoise wings. I so loved the picture that I wrote the first verse of this poem and since I've extended it. So could we mute everybody, Jason, please? I can hear people coming in. Sorry. I've got somebody's scraping a somebody was scraping a dish and having their tea. So anyway, so this, I'm muted again. No, right. So this is for Derek. I always thought you were some kind of angel. Brick walls don't box you in. You stand before them and take strength from the graffiti. Those turquoise wings will allow you to fly. A halo may follow. Your star will rise. I always knew you were a mastermind, your concepts unfettered. You haven't the mental margins of a lesser brain. Launch your quirky thoughts to set sail across the uncharted seas of a page. I always knew you were a poet, had a tongue of your own. In the cats of the River Darrow, you formed it. Take out your pen and write of miracles. Turquoise wings will help you fly. A halo may follow. Your star will rise. Thank you. So I think we'll get straight on and ask Peter Lay to come on, please, next.
Hi. I suppose I should welcome you on behalf of Black Eyes. We're a small independent publisher based in Brockworth in Gloucestershire, UK, for those of you that aren't in the UK. We publish a few books a year, 5 this year, and this is the second one that we've done with Derek. The first one, Everything Rhymes with Orange, was out last year, and that was brilliant. And this is the next one. So I'm just going to read you a poem. So I'm not going to say much more because, you know, I know it can be quite boring. So I'm just going to read you a short poem that I wrote in June. This is on a subject that we're all very familiar with, but it felt when I read it that it was not really out of date. It's called Opening Up. The world is shutting down. The world is opening up. The USA is burning. The UK is full of lies. New Zealand has beaten it. Maracaibo is getting it. Brazil has lost it. June is here. Hurrah! Nice and warm, but nothing changes. Opening up. The economy needs reviving. So what if you are dying? The pension gap is decreasing. Taxes will be increasing to pay for our privilege. Cliff jumping in Dorset. Air ambulance needed. The masses crammed even closer, united in COVID-19. I need a hug, a kiss, a cuddle, bit of a fumble. Is it safe to have a tumble? Thank you. That's it.
Absolutely not. Okay, thank you, Peter. That's brilliant. I'm going to read a short bio for Derek. I'm sure all of you know him and you probably all know his first collection, but I'll read this through anyway for those who have not known everything about Derek. Derek Dohren has been performing his poetry on the spoken word circuit in England's southwest since October 2017. He has been described as quirky and surreal, as a shark basking in a sea of words. I love that one. And as a poet who enjoys rooting out affection and pomposity. Sorry, affectation, not affection. More prosaically, he's a bus driver, the latest profession for which he draws artistic inspiration. His first collection, Everything Rhymes with Orange, was also published by Black Eyes in July 2019. His authorized biography of a former Liverpool FC player and manager, Roy Evans, was called Ghost on the Wall and was published by Mainstream Publishing in 2004. and his semi-autobiographical account of a broken life being rebuilt in the charming shadow of Granada's Alhambra Palace, and beautifully illustrated by Natasha Phillips, entitled The Cats on the River Darrow, which is what I referred to in the poem. That was published in 2012. And if you can get your hands on it, it's well worth a read. So without any more ado, can I ask you to unmute and give an enormous welcome to Derek Dohren.
Hooray! Hey. Well, it's still muted.
Well, I think I'm going to go home after that, but I'm already home. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Josephine, for that fantastic introduction. And that poem, I'm far from being an angel, by the way, but you know, that's a beautiful poem, and I really appreciate that. And I want to thank everybody for turning up tonight, because I know a lot of you have been at work, some of you have been unwell, and you know, I really appreciate you making the effort and coming along. And I think it's going to be a good night, and I hope you all enjoy it. This book is it's very important to me. It's been a labour of love. This year has been a challenging year for all of us. It continues to be so, and just because there's a pandemic on, it doesn't mean all the other stuff we have to deal with goes away. You know, so we're dealing with all the normal stuff, and we've got this thing on top. And for me, being able to carry on writing and working on this book has been so important in getting me through the year. Peter and Josephine at Black Eyes have been fantastic. You guys, you know, you take a full part in these books. You don't just play a passive role. It's very much a team effort, and without the work that you guys put in, you know, this holistic approach that you take, it just reaps benefits. And the book is fantastic. You know, Jason, I know you've done a lot of work on the cover and just putting it all together physically. It feels nice. You know, it's just the whole thing is wonderful. It's come together and it's brilliant. So thank you very much for all of that. It's very much a team effort. What I would like to try and do tonight is give you a flavour of the type of poetry I write, because I think some of the poems, they do vary in style. I do write a lot about bus driving, but not every poem's about driving buses. The first one I want to read for you tonight was actually, the idea for it came to me when I was at work, but I wasn't actually driving. It was when I was on a break and I was sat in a park having my lunch. And it ended up being my first kind of rom-com. You know, it's a bit of a romantic story that developed. It's called Lunch Break. It goes like this. We sat on park benches opposite one another, an expanse of neutral grass between us. You were eating your lunch and I was eating mine. Our eyes met briefly somewhere over that green sea, and I suppose that if this had been a rom-com, the director would have engineered a clumsy yet endearing way in which I could have broken the ice with you. I wouldn't even have to dream it up. The script writers would do it for me, and I'd just learn my lines and sashay on over. I'd do my pratfall as I tried to save you from that seagull that was trying to eat your salmon paste sandwiches. And over the next 20 minutes of screen time, our perfect teeth and our perfect bodies would fall in love. And I'd talk passionately about the sun and the moon and about how they appear to be the same size in the sky, even though the sun is 400 times further away from the earth than the moon is. But eventually you discover my terrible secret, and in my desperate attempts to redeem myself, I'd haplessly fall victim to a gross misunderstanding about your ongoing relationship with Kevin. before we both finally realised, as we stood soaking wet on the film studio lot, the water cannon raining down hard on us, that we were made for one another. And I'd bring that sun and moon thing up again and say that the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, and that's why they look the same size in the sky when it isn't raining. And that this is either an extremely unlikely coincidence or it's proof of God's existence. And you press your finger to my lips and say, it's neither. Then the director would shout, it's a wrap, and we'd all go home. You'd go on to make a new film with Brad Pitt, and I'd get some voiceover work for the Gloucestershire County Council Transport Executive's Future Vision video entitled Gloucestershire County Council Transport Executive Future Vision. But my butties were finished, so I stood up and you pretended to look the other way. I put the empty wrapper in the bin and I went back to work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So anyway, other modes of transport are, of course, available. And one day I remember being totally transfixed as an aeroplane, a jet plane, flew overhead. And I did that thing, and maybe we've all done it, where you stand and you stare at the plane, and you're just in awe at how the thing stays in the sky, and you're wondering who's on board and where are they going. And I wrote this poem. It's called Mighty Silver. A ramrod streak tears across a blue canvas sky, and with a mighty silver roar bellows its beauty from high. Metallic heart of aluminium, jet-propelled fuselage, pulsed with electricity, that flying bird visage. I watch from where I stand, those dead wings fixed in flight, at boiling white tail feathers, and try as I might, I cannot move my eyes from the miracle I seek, that distant bird above, mighty silver, ramrod streak. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. The next poem I want to write was, the idea for this did come to me when I was driving my bus one day through the Forest of Dean, which is an area of Gloucestershire over here where I work. And it was born out of a misunderstanding. And misunderstandings form a big part of my life, okay? I seem to go through life misunderstanding things. This didn't have serious ramifications, thankfully, but it was a sign I spotted outside a pub, and I got the wrong end of the stick. This is called My Heart Will Go On. Outside Queenie Duval's pub hangs a sign with a ridiculously elaborate cursive font design, which urges punters to celebrate and dine. And from a distance, I misread it as Celine Dion. My first thought is simply, why the fuck is Celine Dion coming to Cinderford? Yet momentarily, I find my heart is lifted and a jolt of happiness shoots me through. I'm not a particular fan of the French-Canadian songstress, but nor do I hold anything against her. And the notion that such a global megastar has made room for a slot on a forthcoming world tour for a boozer in the Forest of Dean lifts my spirits hugely. Kudos to Queenie and her clientele. Celine is coming to Cinderford. But I read the sign again, and she isn't. The estate agent's up for sale. The charity shop needs a bailout. The schools are out and the hospitals are sick. The country's being carved up and assets stripped. Every man and his labradoodle wants a piece of it, while the politicians keep on keeping the politics out of it. And on the radio, they're interviewing Jeffrey, an international banker. Thanks for all the austerity then, Jeff, you chinless wanker. A deflated inflatable Santa clings to the broken guttering. the forgotten relic of a Christmas gone, his sack of gifts and tidings of goodwill long since punctured by the winter chill. Inside the pub, Miss Duval pours a scotch on the rocks and surveys empty tables. No one is dining, no one is celebrating, for no one feels able. She raises her glass to absent friends, to those of us who are the wrong type of passenger. Then she crunches the ice in silent defiance. But another Titanic will sink into unseen oblivion, with no help forthcoming from Celine Dion. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek. That was a wonderful taster for the future.
Thank you,
Forward to
Josephine.
the second half. Can you unmute and give Derek a fabulous round of applause, please? Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much. Okay, well now we will get on with our open mic and we'll open it up with Jason Conway, please.
Right, okay. First one kind of can be linked to the lockdown, I guess, because a lot of people are struggling currently. And this is kind of about the perils of drink. It's called Black Moonshine. I'm the storm in your rage. I'm the key to your cage. I'm the passion that you crave. I'm the blood swirling in your veins. I'm the black snake of the bottle, twisting pleasure to your pain. Won't you bring your lips to mine till you're the puppet of my game? I'm the lightning in your skies. I'm the fire roaring in your eyes. I'm the acid chills in your rain. I'm the trickster in your brain. Oh, bring your lips to mine while you're searching for a sign. For as long as you keep drinking, my venom stings sublime. Oh, bring your lips to mine. Be quick, you're almost out of time. This black snake of your bottle is blurring all your lines. When midnight starts chiming, I'll be your beast, but you'll be mine. Okay, and my last one, kind of reminiscent of holidays. I know most of us have struggled during lockdown, but this is about a wonderful place called Melness in Scotland that I was fortunate enough to go earlier in the year. It's called Melness Sunset. The pilled, cooling land gently slopes and rises like a freshly aired linen sheet, rippled across an endless cushioned bed. Shimmering white rocks break the undulating curves of a brocaded heath, buttoned by fluffed cotton grass tufts. Sponge-like mounds of moss, lichen and heather spring inquisitive wanderers, giants hopping across islands. Stroking winds make grass roll tidal-like, sending silvery snakes to wind towards the hem of glowing hills. Sunset draws down a violet damask drape to peach and lemon folds that snug a rusted aubergine pillowed landscape. Not long now for the circling sun to rest beneath the rich lustrous fabric of the moon's speckled sequined quilt. This ever-giving Celtic land, tucked by the brush of the North Sea, is a waking dream of the wild and will always lie with me.
Thank you. Big hand for Derek Dohren, please. Sorry, for Jason Conway, please. Sorry. And next up on our open mic, we have Brian Franco, please.
Hello. Oh, so those were really wonderful. And so does my poetry all have to be really classy like that?
Your poetry is you, Brian.
Okay, well, I did both of these poems this morning at the Write Club, which is a British workshop.
Brilliant.
So the first is called Thumbs Up What? Another problem with texting being a highly impersonal form of communication is how to end a textursation, a word that should have never been coined for the sanctity/sanity of a better society. The thumbs up Facebook icon/emoji has become a tool of positive reinforcement validation last wordism, a way to falsely say, way to go or attaboy when you actually want to scream, I'm bored out of my balls with this conversation, which is technically not a conversation because you're texting. I have noticed the ubiquitous thumbs up looks a bit like an evil insertion torture mechanism from a Middle Ages dungeon, maybe an armored glove used on sexual miscreants. I wonder if Mark Zuckerberg created it due to a secret kinky desire to stick his thumb up random buttholes. Please excuse me if that offends anyone. The next piece is called What Smells So Bad? There is an odor in the air. It just decided to creep into the atmosphere. It could be a sensory memory trying to trick my brain and ruin my day. I remember the first time I tried moonshine. It didn't smell like any commercially made liquor. It was farty smelling, like rotten, fermented, high sugar content sweet corn someone put into an apple crumble that made the venerable dessert smell like farts rather than apples and cinnamon. Or when a skunk took refuge under a friend's deck and continually sprayed its territory. It reminded me of when my family would drive to Montgomery to visit my meemaw. We'd pass the Chickasaw exit, which had multiple paint factories. My dad would always say, it smells like someone made some polecats angry. When that polecat decided to make a home for himself under my friend's deck in Maine, it definitely smelled like a Chickasaw, Alabama paint factory, which in its own way smelled a bit like a more odorous, farty smelling moonshine. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Brian. Bringing us down to earth. That's brilliant. Thank you. Fabulous. Okay, and next we come up to somebody else in America, and it's really lovely to have her with us. She's not been very well, but she's come here especially for Derek's event. Please, big hand for Catrice Greer.
Thank you, guys. So I thought I'd read something funny since everybody else is reading something funny. And I hope you're hungry. It's about the case of missing chicken dinners. So it's called Them, the People Down the Hall. Let me increase it so I can see it a little better. Them, the people down the hall. Listen, I'm having some concerns about the people down the hall. Are they nested there in their clutter-strewn lair to test my resolve? Are they sent by heaven or Satan to test my mettle? Are they maleficent evil geniuses disguised as prying eyes? If I survive the price of this, what should I surmise? Will there be a prize? Do they enjoy tiptoeing through the halls, quiet as you please, ratty Hello Kitty flip-flops, barely pieced together by prayer and late rent, whisper shuffling along, humming popular songs I hate, laughing too loudly, nicking fresh takeaway bags, wafting with delights that were just delivered for my dinner? Do they go to their apartment, shut the door, nose dive into the half-sunken perch that used to be a couch, and sit there, oiled chin and bits of chicken sliding down their faces, King Henry VIII bravado and ill-mannered, munching in delight on this feast? Do they perhaps need this moment to satiate an everlasting hunger burning in the bottom of their hungry bellies, greened with envy, or just tired from working and not affording? Is this the treat they've been waiting for? Is this their twisted way of charity? They save me from the weight I'd gain from all the dinners I never ate. Is this the only way? Should I politely knock and take back my ghost dinner that my tongue can taste in the air? Or should I let it be the gift I never gave? When they head to the box to collect the post, should I ask or politely ignore the barbecue and curry-stained fingers leaving dotted evidence all over the walls, smearing the white edges of the mail crimson, deceptively bile yellow, yet delicious and wet? Should I stop and ask, well, did you at least recycle the empty boxes? I always recycle, and that is the least they could do. But I'm afraid of the grease-stained, curry-dripping smile that will come. The chicken bit speckled teeth that look like bloody braces of a serial killer having eaten her prey raw and in a hurry. If I peek inside when the door is ajar, would I glimpse the straggled piles of bones, grizzled candy wrappers and long since gone, the mystery of missing cat food tucked there, recessed in the darker corners? Will the sticky-fingered ringleader, odoriferously adorned with the chicken fat, oxtail curry goat essence of stolen dinners and hungry hopes dashed? Will the neighbor, the woman of the house, smile back at me, glinting through the crack as the door closes? There, the door frame vignetted. She is bedazzled in the gold-plated chain she dangled around her neck like stolen bounty. The thrones of empty boxes, footprints smeared post, unopened, littering the floor like confetti, marking her coronation, and me there, pauper. She looks at me with pride and disgust. What I ask her then? Did you eat my chicken dinner? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Catrice. I love that poem. Please unmute and give Catrice a big hand. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And next up on our open mic, we have, and I'm really going to try and say this, Maria Trebojevec. I knew I wouldn't go and get it. Maria T, she tells me. I'm going to call her. Welcome,
Yay.
please. And I look forward to hearing your poetry.
Okay. Am I okay? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So I'm going to start a bit sort of serious, but then I'm going to go a bit light. So the first one is a memory of when I was at secondary school, something that happened to me. And, these things sort of just sort of come up and you think, oh, God, yeah, I'll write a poem about that. So here it is, and it's called SS. I wonder if he remembers me, if he realizes his hate words have been stuck on repeat for 45 years in their own unique padded cell in my memory. And occasionally they come up for oxygen like they're choking on their own poison. I remember how they shook my insides, took me by surprise, because that's the only time I've ever been told to go back to my country. But my country was here, and I told him, and I spoke from a place of certainty. This is my country. Why would anyone think differently? There was no doubt in me, and his words did not plant any seeds. I was sure about me. But of other people, I became wary. And I wonder if he remembers himself the way he felt. I wonder if his memory is ever, I wonder if he remembers himself the way he felt. I wonder if his memory has ever held up a mirror to his face and projected his poison into his own reflection. Has he ever tasted his own medicine? Has he ever reflected on his reflection? And where did his hate words come from? Were they passed down from his dad and mum, from an older generation, bricked inside their small minds like the Berlin Wall to social cohesion, like a Hoover Dam stemming the flow of human evolution? I'd like to hope that somewhere he found a hole and walked through it and grew up and broke the hate chain reaction, or is ignorance his inheritance to his children? I wonder if he remembers, or is it something he'd like to forget, select and delete from his history? Or was it the first of many, the first of worse? I wonder if he realizes in the end, his wish for my exile was vile and futile and did not change me, my identity or my nationality. It did not change where I live. I was and still am British. I wonder if he is still racist. Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. So I'm going to finish off on a lighter note. And again, I don't know, I must have been thinking a lot about my childhood during lockdown, but it's about my Italian grandparents that we call, my grandmother is Mamma Non and my grandfather is Papa Non. When they came over from Italy, they came to live with us and lived with us for about 20 years whilst I was growing up. So this second one is a memory of, it's about my grandmother's pants, really, and it's called Mamma Non's Pants. Between us cousins, it was okay to laugh because we'd all had to take turns sleeping with Mamma Non and Papa Non. We didn't do it on purpose, but it was hard not to notice when they got undressed or dressed for bed, because not too many garments were shed, it has to be said. No modesty went unprotected. And if the sight of Papa Non in his long johns and home-knitted bobble hat on his head didn't get you started, then Mamma Non's pants would push you over the edge. But you had to keep it quiet, keep your lols under your blankets, because if Papa Non heard you snigger, he'd come over and whack you through the covers with his foam rubber slipper. Between us cousins, it was okay to laugh. But once, when my friends came over to play on wash day, there was a row of Mamma Non's pants puffing in and out like lungs as they hung on my mum's washing line, and my friends started to laugh. I did not join in. They had trespassed on lands that belonged to me and my cousins. But if I'm honest, I was embarrassed. Right there and then, I wanted to disown Mamma Non's pants. For the first time, I felt different to my friends. For the first time, I felt foreign. Though in reality, their grannies, whatever nationality, probably had pants like Mamma Non's. And we would have laughed at them too, because we were 6, 7, 8-year-olds, and that's what 6, 7, 8-year-olds do. They were funny though, Mamma Non's pants. They were big and billowy, like the photo I'd once seen of a pair of Queen Victorias, embroidered and trimmed with lace, displayed in a glass case. But Mamma Non's weren't fancy-pantsy and lacy. They were rudimentary, utilitarian, the kind of pants you probably see in the old Soviet Union. But make no mistake, in writing this poem, I'm not deriding them. I'm doing what I should have done in front of my friends. I'm honouring them with their own glass case, and it's heart-shaped as a loving testament to a poor woman's skill and resourcefulness to make her own pants out of old cotton sheets and a bit of elastic. And even when Mamma Non got the chance to buy brushed nylon drawers from Marks and Spencer's, she still preferred hers. And I've decided it's okay to laugh because time has passed and showed us that actually we love Mamma Non's pants. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Maria T. Yes, fabulous. We love them too. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well, that was a lovely open mic, and it brings us to an end of the first open mic and brings us up to our first guest feature. We're very lucky tonight. We have a poet laureate, a past poet laureate, and a present poet laureate in amongst our features. And Sue Winspear is a poet, writer, and performer. She works in a Victorian museum, lives in a disused church, and loves the darker things. So this Gothic queen of poetry runs a monthly poetry event, the Worcester Speakeasy, and I think you're doing open online events too, aren't you? You did one for your festival, I think, Sue.
Yes, and we're hoping to start up the monthly ones again from the 17th of December.
Oh, brilliant. I'll look out for that. As well as that, she was Worcestershire Poet Laureate 2016 to 17, and her collection, The Awkward People, was published in 2017. And I was trying to get some reviews of that. I did pick up one who's said her poetry collection is a must-read, beautifully dark, beautifully crafted, beautifully Gothic. I think that suits to a T. So please unmute yourselves and give a really big hand to Suze Winspear.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a disused church in Worcester. I'm Suz Winspear, and this is the awkward people. Take us like this, just as you find us, for we are the awkward people, the poets and the artists, the makers of music and the tellers of tales. We are the ones you can always rely upon to say the wrong things and to speak out of turn, ignoring all your rules and your boundaries of good behaviour, burning the corporate uniform right before your eyes. You cannot keep silent. There's mischief make, we will make it. Appropriate comments? We'll give them to you by the bucket load. We will embarrass you at every opportunity, spill every single bean we find. And if those beans are magic beans that grow a beanstalk to the highest cloud, suddenly you praise our wondrous minds, our curious ideas and strange imaginings, forgetting that these things didn't come from any quiet or easy place, that roses only grow from mucky soil. So we will always leap before we look, sooner be sorry than safe, laugh at those you say we should revere, be inappropriate, step out of line, say what's on our minds, and never will we once stop being awkward. Thank you. And this is the town that lives in photographs. They never see themselves as quaint, the people you find in that monochrome town. The town like ours that lives in photographs, just out of reach, looking like our town, but with everything skewed and different. The town where demolished buildings still stand, shabbily unexpected, as though surprised at their own existence. Old fashions are worn there, with hats and caps, and the shop sign letters have an ornate precision in the place where the closed cinema is open, still showing films, black and white entertainment in old money, and the grocer's boy forever wheels his bicycle down a changeless, carless street. His life is one of ordinary disappointment. He hates the town that cages him, with its old rules and expectations, hates the grocer's shop, with all its packets, brands and labels, the nagging demands of customers in better clothes than he can hope to wear, and how he resents that quiet, weekly bread and butter ritual of Sunday tea, all that fussiness of doilies and his granny's dreary chat. All his life is a dream to leave the town that lives in photographs. He does not see himself as quaint. Thank you. And this one, well, it's the nearest thing a goth can do to writing a happy, cheerful summer poem. This is The Yellow House by the Sea. Light crumbles in, piecemeal, through dusty windows. The yellow house by the sea has been closed all year. The summer family didn't come. The villagers were curious, but no one had their number or even knew their name or where they lived, so no one ever called to check why they had missed their seaside summer. Abandoned by fickle humankind, the yellow house by the sea forgets its discipline, runs feral, lets dust and leaves slide in beneath the door, lets sunlight take the colour from the curtain to drape across the spreading weeds and decorate the liberated garden with unrestrained chaotic blooms. So now, the loyal moths are sheltered in the carpet, the mould takes wallpaper for home. Wild bees have claimed the wardrobe for a warm, dry, throbbing hive, and honey drips heavy through unused beachwear. The dry rot and the wet rot meet in sympathy. The dining table feeds the worms, the mice are welcomed in, to nest in unread books beneath the attic beams where beetles tick to tell them all good night. The house knows it will never be alone again. Thank you. And this is in memory of a very vaguely remembered student party from years and years ago called Fish Fingers. A party late at night in some stranger's house. We stood around the grill and watched the fish fingers catch fire, our bodies needing protein, something to soak up the inspiration that was flowing in broken waves, a shared indifference, unafraid and flying where the conversation crackled. We laughed at smoke alarms, at downstairs neighbours banging on our floor. Somebody stayed sober. Someone drove us home. Someone woke up early to the daily chores and wondered what we all found so amusing. I can't remember who that was. And this one came out of a true story that an elderly gentleman told me when I was doing one of my talks on the Worcester Theatre Royal. This is called Theatrical Digs, 1948. Eyes bright from the pantomime sparkle, from last night's wonder of limelight, of dancers and laughter, of colour and warmth, of ponies and girls and amazing adventures, of virtue rewarded and evil defeated, of glamour and splendour and hope, of the fairy queen's enchantment. The landlady's nephew stands in the backyard. With tears in his eyes, the child sees the fairy queen's tutu pegged out on the line, the soap water dripping on dirty slabs. The costume is grey as the heavy sky, as drab as sooty English brick, seen in the daylight and stripped of illusion. Indoors in the kitchen, the fairy queen herself, in a threadbare dressing gown, her hair in netted curlers, lights another cigarette. The boy feels disappointment, feels that last night's magic has all been washed away. But the fairy queen just smiles. She knows that once she stands upon the stage, the lights will shine, the music will begin, and she'll create the magic once again. Thank you. And finally, now, bus journeys are going to be a bit of a leitmotif of tonight, I think. Whenever I take a journey by a bus or a coach, particularly a long distance journey, I always seem to meet the most peculiar people. And this, excuse me, and this was one of them. And the first stanza is pretty much verbatim what she was saying, and the rest was a fantasy I had at a hotel in Ilfracombe in the bar at midnight that same day. Anyway, this is the seasoned traveller. Excuse me. Oh, this journey's a nightmare, she loudly complains. I've been stuck at that coach stop for ages. My feet are like ice blocks, the woman maintains. And the driver's a fool, she still rages. It's as bad as that trip to Pitlochry last year when the ferry was twice struck by lightning. The engine stopped working. I turned yellow with fear, and the anchor chains all needed tightening. Then back in December on that day trip to Neath, when the snowdrifts meant trains didn't run. Oh, the place was so cold I lost half my teeth when I bit on a frozen rock bun. And the summer excursion to Warm Alderney, when the boat sank en route to the Isle, the sharks were encircling us in the sea. The first mate did nothing but smile. Then in Eastbourne, that haunted hotel was a bore, with the shrieks and the taps dripping blood, and the knives buried up to the hilt in the door, and the sherry that tasted of mud. And Ely is windy, King's Lynn is damp. It never stops raining in Welshpool. The Dudley bus driver was dressed like a tramp, and the Babbacombe waitress was cruel. I've travelled the length and the breadth of this land. Everywhere, everything's hateful. And the only thing left that I don't understand is that everyone says I'm ungrateful. Thank you. That was the last one.
Oh, thank you, Suze. That was wonderful. Please unmute and give a fabulous applause for Suze Winspear. Like the fairy queen, you came and brought us all the magic of your poetry. Fabulous, Suze. Fabulous. Oh.
Thank you.
If you'd like to put your book on the chat, so if anybody would like to get your book, they will be able to, because it's certainly worth getting, I do assure you. So one large applause more, and then we will come to our break. Thank you, Suze. Okay, well, I think we'll have a break now until about 8:10. Amazingly, having started late, we've just about caught up and are on time. So that's brilliant. So a 10-minute break, and we'll all see you back here at 8:10. Thank you.
Hey, Catrice, can you hear me?
Yes, Brian.
I want to make a short film about your poem. I think that would be a hilarious short film.
Oh, that would be so much
all
fun.
the different people in your building missing their things, and that one lady and her crazy hoarder apartment filled with takeout stuff.
I'm in. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, when I win the lottery and get the funding for it, I will call you.
We will do this project.
Do you think that your neighbor will take part in it or not?
Oh man, and now you've got me thinking about waffles. My God, the Waffle House. I mean, you can't get, I have family from North Carolina on the coast, and man, going in and coming out, you have to stop at the Waffle House and Dairy Queen. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, I was gonna say, you just can't go down south and not stop there.
Well, the other thing is, I don't think I have come across a traditional waffle, a non-Belgian waffle in Maine ever.
Oh,
at a restaurant. Well, you don't really see regular waffles anywhere anymore. Even at diners, it's only Belgian waffles. It seems like.
I'm desperate to try these waffles.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
I prefer the little cavities to the big cavities.
Yes.
The way the syrup goes in, and yes, I do bring my own little bottle of real maple syrup to restaurants. If I know I'm going to order pancakes. There's Leslie Constable. Oh my God, why are you smiling, Leslie?
It's because you're talking about waffles.
Not just any waffles, but Waffle House waffles.
No, it's making me really happy to hear you talk about waffles.
No,
and
I do have
your maple syrup.
So I do have a couple of waffle irons, and the only kind of traditional waffle iron I could find was a basic one that doesn't do. You can't find one that flips. The ones that flip over. Those are all Belgian. But it's really hard to find a traditional one. I mean, they are there. They're just like they're like 5% or 2% of all the waffle irons out there, and those are the best waffles.
We're not still going on about waffles.
Gary, did you like my tribute to you today?
That's hilarious.
Waffles.
Gary, can you hear me?
Sorry.
I was trying to talk to Gary. Did you like my little?
Did I love your tribute? I feel honoured. I feel humbled. Humbled. I feel humbled.
It was a double tribute because it was sweet corn too.
Okay.
I made your sweet corn into something that's sour.
I think I finally got, my branding sorting out.
Okay.
My name I book me to crumble or not to crumble.
You were obviously talking a lot about food today. You're right there, Carol.
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Good. You're not getting, you're having to work full time through this one, aren't you?
Full time and overtime as well. The housing market's gone mad, so.
Oh my God. The housing market's gone mad in the middle of a coronavirus. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I'm not sure I'd want to move at this moment in time.
No.
Are you all right there, Kathy? How's
I'm
work?
fab, thank you. Are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Gosh, that was a fabulous first half. I can't wait for the second.
I love Suze. I've never heard Suze before. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, if you look on online and look up Worcester Speakeasy, yeah, because we used to go up there to the live events, but of course, sadly, that was a long time ago now. Yes, she's wonderful, very warm.
Yeah, I'd say she'd have some energy in her room. I would say she would light up her room now. So she would.
This is lovely.
She's totally a delight, is what I would say.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
I feel like I couldn't get enough of her. You know, I wouldn't know to stop.
And she's always goth. She's always dressed as a goth. She's always very in black and fabulously.
Brian, you had a huge grin on your face the whole time. It was magic.
Oh well, you can't help it, can you? And with Catrice and with Derek.
Thank you. Derek, I love your hat so much.
Really?
That is spiffy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was. I've got my Wasp nails on as well tonight.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, did you do that? Did you do that?
Of course.
Wow! Cool.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Oh, you're snazzy.
I couldn't move while I was waiting for them to dry. You know.
I bet. Gosh. And so, how did you do it? So do a stripe and let it dry, and do a stripe.
Yeah, I just put the yellow down, and then when the yellow had dried, I just put some black stripes.
Put the brush. Oh gosh.
It's not rocket science.
Dedication to the craft there.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got to go for the full look. You know?
Yeah, you got to carry it through, Derek. Yeah.
Exactly. It's one of the things I miss about.
Go hard or go home.
I miss that about the live gigs. You know, kind of getting dressed up, and to me, that's all part of it. You know.
Oh gosh, I miss the live group.
You tend not to bother when you're at home. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your patrons must give you a lot of fodder for your poems.
It's unbelievable. I mean, all the things I talk about are true. All these things that happen, you know. That I'm going to read the title track of the book, "Wasp in My Cockpit." That's just a series of events that they're all true that have happened on the book. Not all on the same day, but yeah, it's endless, you know.
Cool.
It's fun.
It's quite funny. I keep looking at all the little pictures. We're all postage stamps, aren't we? I just feel like the Queen, you know, especially if you stand into one corner, you're just like a postage stamp. And so I'm looking along here, and I've got this lovely dog that's looking soul-eyed at me all the time.
Oh.
It's Daisy Dalrymple's obviously dog in the photo.
That's Archie.
Archie, oh, yeah. He's gorgeous.
Archie Dalrymple. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, well, another couple of seconds, and when everybody's coming back, hopefully, we will start the second half. It's so exciting.
I want to say congratulations, Derek.
Thank you so much, Tish. Thanks for coming along tonight.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
What are you drinking?
Yeah.
What have you got? It's blue.
It's wine. I've been drinking tea all day, and now it's time for the grown-up stuff, you know.
Oh. Just go a little easy until the end.
Yeah, I've just got to watch. The temptation is to just knock it back, but
Peter's on the whisk. Oh no, he's on the tequila. So I just went out into the kitchen and he's fixed himself a tequila sunrise. And I thought,
what Peter is?
yeah. So I thought, I better not yet.
It now. I've just literally had a piece. I followed it up with a piece of cheese and a pickled onion. How about that?
See, that's sensible.
What on the phone now?
Are you on KFC? Where's KFC? Oh, I was reading something. Wait. Oh, look, I'm going to go and have a cigarette at the door. I'll be back in a sec. Anyway, I'm just here.
Okay, is everybody back? I'm just going to wait for Ziggy to come back, because if Ziggy doesn't come back, we're
he's back.
Sort of sunk. He's back. Brilliant. Good. Fantastic. Okay, everybody, we're going to start the second half. I can't wait. If it's anything like the first half, it's going to be fabulous. So I'm going to start with a small poem that I wrote the other day, and it's called The Iron. The touch of her hand on your arm brands, and you know that piece of skin will always feel different. Her skirt strokes your knee as she turns, and you inhale her perfume. You ask her to stay, to have another drink. She smiles down at you with sympathetic eyes, and you feel pitied. You know she can't reciprocate. Kindness is all she will offer. Suddenly, you wish she would leave, although the warmth of her body ignites you from within. You could so easily hate her for not giving in, for not loving you back. Thank you.
Wow.
Ooh. Thank you. Okay. So we are now going on with our next feature, guest feature. Many of us will know Ziggy, but for those who haven't met up with him, I'll read all of this first. Z.D. Dix holds an MA in Creative and Critical Writing from the Uni of Gloucestershire. He often works with other poets locally and nationally to create events and to work on poetry projects. In 2016, he founded the Gloucestershire Poetry Society and the Gloucester Poetry Festival. He has had his work accepted by many publications, including Saravasti, Obsessed with Pipe Work, 3 Drops from a Cauldron, and so on. I'm not going through them all because there are just too many. He currently has 3 collections, Malcontent and Intimate Nature, published with Black Eyes, and Vexed, published by Hedgehog Poetry Press in 2020. Helen Ivory described his work as muscular language, and he was himself delineated as a Gothic Seamus Heaney. So there's a definite Gothic theme tonight, folks. And that was by Anna Saunders. So please put your hands together for a warm welcome for Z.D. Dix.
Hello, all right. I'm going to read some stuff out of Vexed by request of Derek. So these are all poems about what it means to be vexed. So there is a theme loosely around that. The first one I read to you is called Blossom. I'm going to try not to read too fast because otherwise the images won't carry. Inside a tree, its trunk a wet wall, is a spirit, a dryad, or a kami, carried on the suck and pull of root to knobbled branch tip, stretching its limbs to split bark and casts its confetti. On a road below, a procession of monks stares at dirt, preparing to immolate a brother, shoulder angled low, weighted by bundles of kindling, foreheads coruscate with fattening saline. On shaking fingers, the dryad spreads its ashes, petals, blood-filled veins, scattered like so much earth, greeting tears on pilgrimage, the blossoms sprinkled over their faces. The wind carries swirling drops to sink into breeze, mix with thick rain. Lost in low chants, each flutter a soft and silent death knell. That's all a bit esoteric, guys, so I do apologise. Some of these images are a bit strange. But another idea of being vexed, I suppose, is looking more contemporary and mythological roots. And one of those would be Diogenes, especially in the current situation of the way people are treated within society. And Diogenes rejected material things in his life, and I thought that was quite a nice idea. So this is imagining Diogenes in our current situation. In the centre of the city, at the cross, is a man, Diogenes, suited and booted. He rifles for a bomb-proof bin. He pulls out an arm with a half-squashed sandwich, a bite mark at corner, and waves it at a thick, lipsticked woman on stilt heels and twists crust, points it like a judge's finger. Men don't think about sex every 10 seconds. They think, where's my socks? Where's my lunch? And I'm late for work. An office lady staring at him scrunches the paint on her face, leaving mud banks at corners of eyes. She veers away from the soggy lettuce and floppy bread, tumbling like a clown. Do you mind? I'm on my lunch break. Hold my calls. Diogenes smears mayonnaise around his mouth like gloss, wiggles his hips in mock march and salutes police, turns his head, shields Wordsworth back of hand and whisper shouts, got to go, I'm booked up all day, kind regards, here's my 1 o'clock. He untucks a shirt, tosses a hangman's noose, kicks off his trousers, plucks a folded letter from inside jacket pocket, feels the government ply, inking between the heavy stamp of fingers in buttocks. Diogenes bows low, like an actor, who's finished performing. The scrunched flower, unclenched, is picked up and thrown to feet. He presents wrists in Christ's pose shrug to an audience, rejected, and offers his refusal for universal credit.
Yes, yes, yes.
So continuing the kind of the mythical kind of element to it as well. Zeus was, for want of a better word, a bit of a bugger, which I think is a bit of an understatement. But one of the things he did was he visited Leda as a swan to seduce her. So I've kind of tried to capture this with a bit more of a romantic side to it. But yeah, it was all a bit strange, to say the least. So this is Leda on the swan. Sorry, an eagle. Sorry, my mistake. Right, swan. I'm talking nonsense. I turned my smile to round beak, jabbed at an eagle, poked, power stroked out, teasing pinions to guided flight, cut invisible corners and glided over rippling night mirror, jolted. Feathers from wings with sudden course correction, a triggered hunt halted, a false save by you. A warrior woman on a balcony who sent an arrow to rapture and cradled swan. I nuzzled, shifting bladed mouth to grin as you stroked my long neck. I pecked with downy lips to groove of thigh, pressed in wings, squeezed nook of hip. Your king already snoring as webbed feet grew betwixt supple toes, silk under breast, as pearled rose sweat sank into feeler plume, basted white meat. I dusted, flapping loose crest, while tips dipped down nape to muscled broad back, like cream tulip petals, brushed by soft breath, coolly down. A hushed gasped, hooked legs over my tail, when chest quills spread, sailing on, half-lung storm, I gave you 2 eggs, knowing we could never mate for life. Sorry, I've stumbled over my words there, guys. So I've got 4 more poems for you, so I'll try and read these eloquently as I can. And this is about a couple and a cabin. The cabin. It was late spring when we blended in wood cabin, split trees stacked and roughly bound, its long sides spilling over corners. Down at our softer side, we shielded flesh from storm, our coarse edges treated by ember glow, leaving bark backs to chill. The cabin was a refuge, through to warming rains, air that prickled skin with sweat, and now I don't feel your pine's smooth frame. The scent lingers, though long after you flew. We were divided in forest, just our union hacksawed from trunks, great plants sliced in two, and our mismatched shapes laid, in reverence to impossible love, a temple to earth and sky.
Yeah.
Again, so it's a lot of kind of like vexation around love and lust and things like that. I try to capture as much of that kind of the different aspects of that within this. And this is more kind of veering on towards the lust side of things, and it's called The Candle. The candle flame jumped in my bedroom as netting was pushed aside by drafts carrying vanilla and coconut from open pores. When spider lace dropped, but its lines were carried, a ghost print on skin. They danced as shadows on that thin feather. Each curve gleamed by flick and caress of light, armoured in nakedness, wearing the night as negligee. A woman was undressed. The closer her cat eyes glowed. At her back, and slumped on the ceiling, she threw off her garter and French knickers. Her corset ripped by one step, and as she leaned forward, the spectre swirled on corner posts. But she was warmed, not by a suppressed flicker, an open window, or a duvet flung to floor, but by a man, a phantasm, clothed in black. Okay, so now I'm going to move on slightly to my penultimate poem. A different form of vexation, vexation to do with mortality and your position within that, which is a bit maudlin, but it is what it is. It's called The Haystack. The haystack sat like a crumpled wicker man, too tired to stand, waiting for its yellow fibres to be scattered as ashes over dirt and insulate soiled bodies. An uncooked firestorm of golden thatch, tapered and twisted like raw kindling, bleached straw hair for a scarecrow wig, and stuffing shirt for a faux physique. The haystack top swayed like unkempt hair, grain harvested and threshed, bundled tightly, the outside frayed, blistered skin in the sun, but at its core, wet as cold blood. The earth was beaten and pulled, men's backs jarred by bale birth, gestated in a late lambing season, when wheat was chopped, and I stand waiting like so much grass. And again, going back to kind of like I don't know, like the vexation of, to finish on, a longing, I suppose, a need. A union, not necessarily lust, but just the unrequited love, I suppose. This poem's called Votary. That's my final one, so thank you very much for listening. The priest knelt to an idol, a crisp photo square and pen mark, signed like stigmata with 3 crosses. He felt those kisses in his throat, when chanting a name and bowed, shins pressed to stone. That he heard angels were women, it made no difference. Cloistered in solitary footfall, he knew no infernal wings could shroud him, as this new heat had, where old devotion sank as oily incense, his chest tightened. Forehead on floor, he heard news of the second coming, whispers thudded into ears, incanting his limerence, a ritual call to prayer, where a new God demanded reverence and a sacrifice of flesh, 1 consecrated pound. This was his revelation, looking at white, pressed fingers, clutching a relic, the first of many. When he laid it to rest, his fetish above Jesus, and replaced the cross.
Ooh. Fabulous. Thank you, Ziggy. That was so brilliant. Such rich language. Would you like to unmute yourselves, please, and give a really big round of applause for Ziggy and his fabulously rich poetry?
Yes, Ziggy.
Yes, Tish saying his fetish above Jesus. My goodness. I think you need to read some of that on the page to really appreciate it too. So if you want to put your details on the chat, Ziggy, where you can get them from.
Okay, no worries.
Ooh,
your
thank
book.
You.
Yes,
we got your book. Thank you so much, Ziggy. That was wonderful. So we now go on to our last three open mic. All of these very good poets in their own right too. And we're going to start with Kathy Carson. Welcome, Kathy.
Hi, Josephine and Peter. Thank you for having me. I'm not funny though. Everybody's been funny. I'm just going to do me, if that's okay. This little poem is called 17.
I think he wasn't funny.
No, he wasn't funny. So this is called 17. It started with post-it notes that littered every surface of the living room. These luminous squares of green and yellow that yelled repeated commands. Pay window cleaner, pay credit union, ring Kathy. Pay window cleaner, pay credit union, ring Kathy. Except the window cleaner never got paid, nor the credit union, you never ever rang me. And then there were the things that I told you that you forgot, and the things that you told me 1,000 times. The day I turned up to visit you during election time, you closed the door in my face. You told me you were sick of Sinn Féin canvassers and you weren't voting that year. And the time you bought me chocolates for my birthday and you left the room and you came back in and you thanked me for them and then you ate them all, even the coffee ones, and you hated coffee. The phone calls in the small hours of the morning to tell me that you were worried because Dad hadn't come home when Dad had been dead for 5 years. There were countless visits to the doctor, diagnoses of loneliness, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, psychosis. But none of them were helpful because none of them were right. 10 years in elderly care told me what this was. This was dementia. But you were 48. You were found one night wandering in the rain in your night dress, barefoot, soaked through. It took 3 months in the unit for them to decide that this was early onset Alzheimer's. 3 seconds for me to decide that you would live with me. And the first night you had a delirium that had you ripping the curtains from the rails, kicking, biting, screaming, thrashing, spitting, and unable to find the bathroom. You soiled yourself and you cried like a child. So I took you to your home where you attacked me in the night thinking I was an intruder. You thought I was stealing from you. You phoned the police. So finally, after guilt that took the very core from me came an acceptance of sorts that I couldn't continue. I placed you into care, where you flatlined into a shell of all that you had been, and I admit the visits became painful and less frequent. I consoled myself with the fact that you would not remember whether I had been to visit or not. And years passed. I had already lost you. A phone call came to work one day to tell me that you had been admitted to hospital with a chest infection, where amidst your rage and delirium, they told me it was terminal lung cancer. And they transferred you to hospice. You were 59. I visited one day during music therapy. And I stood frozen in the doorway as I watched you dance in your chair to the music of the Kinks, as much as your frailty would allow, and you were lit up with youth and joy and something I had never seen in you, hope. As I approached, you turned to me with your face full of mischief and you said, I bloody love the Kinks. Do you like them? I'm Keg New Love. What's your name? You had introduced yourself with your maiden name. Something inside me folded because I realized that this is who you were before my father broke you. But even in the moment, I knew I was being given a gift because I was meeting my mum before she was my mum. So I played along, I sat beside you. You told me you were 17, that you were dating a boy called Sam. We talked about the music you loved and the places you went to and all the things your mother never let you do, and you made me laugh so hard. So we established a routine of sorts. I would arrive and find you vacant, unengaged. I would play the music of the Kinks, and there you were, 17-year-old Keg New. And I fell in love with you, with your cheek and your charm, your infectious laugh, and your insatiable passion for the Kinks. On the night I lost you the second time, the nurse said you'd been distressed, that you had been calling out and unable to settle you. She put on the music of the Kinks and left the room. She'd gone back a few minutes later to turn the volume down and found you gone. It still tickles me to think that as the Kinks sang out, oh yeah, you really got me, someone came and got you. The medical records will say that you died age 59. But me, I know different, because the Kinks were playing. You died age 17. Thanks, everyone.
Ooh, fabulous, Kathy. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Roller coaster of emotion as always with Kathy. Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you very, very much. And now we'll go on to, as a complete contrast, to Clive Osman, please.
How the hell do I follow Kathy? Yeah, okay, I'm going to do two. The first one's short, both new. So the first one, I've always wanted to write one of those poems with just one vowel. Yeah, the univocal doodah, what's it, whatever they call it. And they're difficult. So I think this is probably the closest I'm ever going to get. And it's called Oh Wow. Oh wow, look, done, lost, cool, Bojo's Oppo, loony done, not one, lost. Bug off done, no room for fools. So go, bro, dollop of poop, go to school or look for books to borrow. Bollocks to Don, bollocks to Bojo. ROFL, goons. Look, God only knows how or why Bozo Bojo won. Follow Don. Go on, Shoe Johnson. Son of moron, poppycock clot, horror plot, floppy top tosspot. Thank you. So, yeah. Right, so on to the next one, which is probably even a bit more crazy than that one. I mean, you've all met the Queen, obviously, and she's here in attendance tonight. So yeah, this is called Derby Day. You all know the Queen's well into horse racing, and you probably know, if you know anything about it, that although she's won many, as an owner, won many classic races, she's never won the Derby. So this may be her last chance. It's called Derby Day. Picture the scene. Civil list, a horse owned by Her Majesty the Queen, is running in the Epsom Derby, and she can hardly contain her excitement as she senses an appointment with destiny. This is the one she's always coveted, the one she's yearned for with intensity, but it seemed the chance had been missed. Now her horse named after Franz Liszt and nothing to do with royal benefits, is one of the hottest ever favourites. The horses are going in the starting stalls and she gives her husband, Philip, a call. He had, as so often, been a silly old duffer, and his chances of being there were properly scuppered because Lizzie had sent him to Coventry. But she relented with a running commentary, and this is how it went.
Oh, come on, Philip. Answer the phone. You better not be on my throne. Oh, hello, Philip. Yes, hello, Philip. Did you get me a bet on? How much? The crown jewels? Fuck me, Philip. That's against the rules. Oh, exaggeration. Phew. Just enough to feed a small nation. That'll do. Anyway, they're under starter's orders, and they're off. Oh, bollocks! The fucking thing has stumbled out the stalls. I actually thought it was going to fall. Oh. Come on, Listy! Give it your all! Get lucky! Who's this bastard useless jockey? He's getting boxed in on the blasted rails. Does he know it's off with his head if he fucking fails? I so want to win the fucking derby. But from there, he can hardly... Philip, did you place that bet on credit? Good, we can deny you ever said it. Oh, hang on. He's making ground. He's looking classy. You think he's being pursued by the paparazzi? Oh, the jockey's fallen off the leader. Serves him right, the short-ass bleeder. Go on, Listy! Go on, son! You can do it! Philip, we're back in the hunt! Oh my God! He's at the front! I'm glad we had that hefty punt, Philip! Go on, boy! Keep going! We've done it! We've done it! One's won the derby! It's time to have a fucking party! Hey, thank goodness for my lucky charm! Stick that up your arse, the Aga Khan! Oh, what? What do you mean? The fucking steward's inquiry? I'm the fucking queen! They all admire me! The result will stand, they wouldn't dare! We won the race fair and square! They wouldn't! Oh, shit! 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 And pew! What? I'm the queen, I'll swear if I want to. Philip! 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 Okay, I'm glad you listened to that now. As I am the queen, and you are my subjects, one orders you to buy Derek's book. One wet one's royal knickers laughing at the title poem, and you will too, so make sure you buy it. Okay, goodbye.
What can I say? Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you, Clive. Oh, sorry, Kathy, but I knew that was one way of changing tones.
Perfect. That was perfect.
Fabulous, both of you. Thank you so much. Okay, last but by no means least, we have Carol Shepherd. Welcome, Carol Shepherd.
Thank you. The first poem I was going to read is going to be about my next door neighbour. You can decide yourself which bits are true and which aren't. I knew it was you as soon as I heard the shrill whine of the lawnmower. I bet you're wearing that stupid green padded jacket, the one that looks as if it belonged to your mother, and she died 2 years ago. And I never liked her either, with her twitching curtains and raised eyebrows, keeping a watchful eye on everything and everyone. And you were just like her, poking your nose into conversations, mowing the grass at 8 a.m. on a Sunday, and parking your car in front of my driveway. And I didn't say anything at first, not as your mother had just died, and I felt sorry for you. But then you kept doing it. And that noisy wooden wind chime, the one that hangs in your tree and keeps me awake all night when it's stormy. And I dream of cutting the strings with scissors, letting each bamboo tube fall to the ground. And I was pleased when my cat shat in your garden and dug up your newly planted onion sets. And yes, it was me that kicked your kitchen waste bin down the drive and the lid broke off. And I should have felt guilty, but I didn't. Not after you blocked me in and went to the shop to get your stupid magazine, probably about trains or toys or something, and I was late for work again. I scratched your car with my key when you left it parked across my drive again, and there was no neighbourhood watch or your mother to see it.
Whoa. It's so good, Carol. It's so calm and calmly evil. I love it.
Yes. I'm glad I'm not your neighbour.
And this second poem is just simply called Anxiety Is. Anxiety is slipping off the edge of a cliff, but a branch catches your clothes. You hang suspended in mid-air, head spinning, feet dangling. You stretch, clasp thin vegetation, cling to tufts of wiry grass, sharp blades cutting into palms. Those clumps of grass give, roots creak, break from soil. You free fall parallel to the cliff face, where gravity and geology collide. Ammonites hide in layers of slate, and blackness welcomes you. But worse, the grass does not pull away, and you are left hanging somewhere between holding on and letting go. Thank you.
Brilliant. Very anxious. Brilliant. Thank you, Carol. Another big hand for Carol Shepherd, please. That's the end of our open mic, and now we're going to return to the man himself and more of the fabulous poems of Derek Dohren.
Hey, thank you. What an amazing evening. How am I supposed to follow that? And I've never been endorsed by the Queen before, so that's something new. Okay, the first one I want to do in the second part is, I guess, for many people with lockdown, maybe we've been playing a lot more board games. Maybe you've been playing board games at home with family and friends. This is my homage to the humble board game, and I'm sure you can work out which particular game I'm referencing here. It's called Games Night. Garret window framing a planetary eclipse, seeking mediocrity in passing ships, a starburst, bobbing head chameleon, an eagle-eyed, misguided authoritarian, handlebar moustache, tailor-made, florid complexion, goose the chambermaid. I'm making a shifty, makeshift observatory. It's Colonel Mustard in the conservatory, bashing that head with undue ceremony, holistic missile, ballistic therapy, and all the while seeking fellowship with an overwatered peace lily and the remnants of a takeaway Rogan Josh. Clotted cream and Neolithic burial mounds, megaliths and ley lines over holy ground, a chunk of blue labradorite, an unidentified piece of chlorite, whistle-stop bling ring fundraiser, wishful thinking navel gazer, and every inch the sodden downtrodden maverick. It's Reverend Green with the candlestick, mangling the hallowed esophagus, jangling the keys to your sarcophagus, and all the while seeking fellowship with an overwatered peace lily and the remnants of a takeaway Rogan Josh. Freight train, needlepoint, ballet dancer, smokescreen, querulous, fingertip chancer, a fragrant, polytheistic, stylistic mystic, a slash of slut-red lipstick, stinging jellyfish tentacles, nettlebed thrumming ventricles, and listening to the strains of Gustav Mahler. It's Miss Scarlet with the revolver, pumping your belly full of lead until you're deader than the deadest of the dead, and all the while seeking fellowship with an overwatered peace lily and the remnants of a takeaway Rogan Josh. Thank you. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Cluedo, of course, was the game. I don't know if it's called Cluedo in the USA. But I hope you got the references. So we come to Wasp in My Cockpit. Now, this is a poem which is a lot of real events that have happened to me driving a bus. They didn't all happen on the same day, I will concede that, but these are all real events. All of life happens to bus drivers. Well, I'll read it out to you. It's called Wasp in My Cockpit. There's a feisty wasp in my cockpit. It flew in through a barely open window, but is unable to find its way out, even though the window is now fully open. A passenger gets on at Mitchell Dean and alerts me to a woman over the road who's trying to get rid of a crow that's been following her all morning. Do you know my mate Bob? He asks. He drives a bus in Cornwall. I toy with telling him I do know Bob, but instead I tell him I don't, and he seems disappointed. Well, he works for Stagecoach, he adds. I glance at the woman over the road. She does indeed seem to be receiving unwanted attention from a crow and is trying to shoo it away. And I think, what would Jesus do? My mind drifts to that weird creature I saw wriggling and writhing on the surface of a pond in Newent. I laugh, and I wonder what the hell is going through the crow's mind. I head for Gloucester, 1,000 concerns now rattling my brain. Not least of them is the wasp, but also a very real dread that on my break I'll get caught up in one of those awful flash mob things. It's only a matter of time. Already this year, I've been called Martin by a stranger in a coffee shop. And I've demolished a bus shelter, the one that's right outside my flat, or rather, the one that used to be right outside my flat until the council scooped it up and took it away. I spoke at length to a therapist about it all and spent 40 minutes listening to his woes. What a waste of my fucking time that was. What would Jesus have done? He'd have disappeared for 3 days and pretended he was dead, but I don't have the requisite skills. At Gloucester, the feisty wasp alighted. Thankfully, there was no flash mob, so things were seriously looking up. Later that day, I saw an old man walking up Wintergate Road with a spring in his step, enjoying the summer evening in this, the autumn of his life. Too many odd things like that happen, and I think I've experienced enough synchronicities to suggest that Cornwall would be a great place to visit. If I do go, I bet I'll bump into Bob, and he'll ask me if I've ever driven through Mitcheldean, as there's a woman there who gets followed by a crow. What would Jesus do? Well, if I had his way with words, I'd relate to Bob a profound parable involving creatures that wriggle and writhe on the surfaces of ponds in Newent. Thank you. Thank you. Just as an addendum to that poem, I did actually visit Cornwall last month. I thought it would be a great place to visit, and I've always wanted to go. I had not been since I was a little kid, and I did go down last month and visit, and I didn't bump into Bob, so there you go. But yeah, on the cover of the book, actually, there's a great depiction. I got an artist. I commissioned an artist to do this cover for me, and you can just make out the woman being trying to shoo the crow away, which I think is a nice touch. But I have no idea what was going on with that woman. Okay, the next one I want to read for you is this is an example of when you. I mean, some of you might be able to identify with this. When you sit down to write a poem, and you end up not writing the poem you thought you were going to write. And I think sometimes you kind of tap in to something else. And it's usually pretty powerful. And I guess at the time, I must have been feeling maybe not at my best when I wrote this one. It's called 11. Tossed from the Tower of Babel in statuesque silence, I lay there unobserved in splendid splendor, a flown out reverie, __*.com. Impressing the ladies with my street magic, it seems there are some things I can do that God can't. I don't require anyone on their knees praising me for all eternity, for example. But I was thinking more about failing and lying and coming in at number 11 in someone's all-time top 10 list. Lost at the Battle of Culloden, not a hint of motion, I lay there unobserved, in flagrant vagrancy, a grown-out topiary, _*.com. The prophetic Messiah, a lingering trespasser. It seems there are some things I can do that God can't. I don't require anyone on their knees confessing to me their guilt, for example. But I was thinking more about sinning and dying and coming in at number 11 in someone's all-time top 10 list. Thank you. Thank you. Just a couple more. I would like to read, if I can find it. My filing system is letting me down here. Where are we? Okay, this one is called In Plain Sight. And I've got a fascination with time, with how we perceive the passage of time and space. You know, that I've heard so many times that time is not linear. We experience time sequentially, but really that's not the true reality. And sometimes time seems to go very slowly, sometimes it seems to go very quickly. And I think this was on my mind when I wrote this poem. It's called In Plain Sight. At home, I try to watch my houseplants photosynthesize, but the process remains hidden in plain sight. Instead, I'm left snacking at the womb of the unknown mummy, with one hand rammed up inside a malicious ventriloquist dummy. The frilly shirts don't fit anymore, and the death of an old, unromantic, new romantic inches nearer. It's clear to see I'm not as witty a man as Oscar Wilde, and I don't lead the privileged life of a Rothschild child. They've paved the parking lot and put up a paradise. Up ahead, there's been some kind of accident, and the traffic is backing up. I'm barely moving quicker than the speed of continental drift. At the current rate of progress, I calculate it will take 12.5 million years before I'm finally drawn into the subduction zone of Gloucester Transport Hub. And I need a pee. At home, I try to watch the rug creep across the floor, but the process remains hidden in plain sight. Instead, I have an application form to deal with, but I don't know if I'm supposed to fill the thing in or fill the thing out. The Dalai Lama lives in a rabbit hutch, and the death of an old, unholy, new holiness inches nearer. It's clear to see he's not as revered a man as Nelson Mandela. He doesn't have the wealth of a Rockefeller fella. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Finally, the last one tonight. I'm going to change my background here. I hope this works. Oh, there we go. I do a bit of painting, as some of you know, and this was a painting of mine which depicts Daisy World. And I don't know if any of you have heard of James Lovelock. He's the scientist that came up with a theory which he called Gaia theory. And this was the theory that the planet Earth is actually a viable, independent living creature, which is able to regulate its own biology and its own biosphere. And this theory, James Lovelock's just turned 100. He's still with us. And this theory came out of the Apollo moon missions when we first saw images of the Earth from space. So we saw this beautiful green-blue ball set against the blackness of space. And as part of this hypothesis, he created this, it was a thought experiment. He created this computer model, which he called Daisy World. And through Daisy World, he tries to demonstrate how the feedback systems would work and how the Earth keeps itself in balance. And Daisy World is a very simple system. It's a planet populated by black and white daisies. So I wrote this poem in homage to James Lovelock, and I painted this picture. The poem's actually in the top half of the painting there. It's a very simple message, but I think very simple messages are often very profound. So this is Daisy World, and I'm going to leave you with this poem. Daisy World has black daisies. Daisy World has white daisies. Black daisies absorb the light and warm Daisy World. White daisies reflect the light and cool Daisy World. A balanced equilibrium between black daisies and white daisies leads to a Daisy World where temperature is optimal for daisy growth. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming out again tonight. I really, really appreciate seeing all of you. Those of you who've come along just to watch and listen, as well as those who performed. I appreciate seeing every single one of you. And it's been a great night. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand you back to Josephine, who's going to wrap things up.
Thank you so much, Derek. Can I have a really big round of applause? Please unmute yourselves and whoop and call and do what you love.
Yeah. Derek. Go, Derek. Go, darling.
Bravo.
Go, Derek.
Bravo.
Is there any other poet that you know of that talks about Oscar Wilde, the speed of the continental drift, the Dalai Lama, and needing a pee?
I think we all
Fabulous,
know one.
fabulous. And I noticed I was putting down, I love this one. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. Everyone's my favorite. And actually, you haven't read my favorite. There you go.
I think you should do.
So many more.
Which one did I not
More.
read?
He needs to read it. More.
And you want me to ask him to read my favorite?
Yeah.
This is a poet that he wanted to take out. So I'd like to know everybody else's opinion. But I'm going to find it now. Oh, this is doing well, isn't it?
Can't be an online editing session. A bit late.
Yeah.
A bit late now.
Don't argue the creative now. Come on.
Oh, God, I can't find it. Which is the one where you don't know what to write and then you're writing?
Oh, heart. Yeah, okay. I'll read that one just for you then, Josephine.
Oh, thank you. Because this is fabulous. You really will like it as an encore.
Oh, this was about writer's block, which I'm sure we'll all identify with. And I had this technique where I would just write. I'd take a pen and I would just write. And it didn't matter even if it wasn't proper words or letters, just move the pen. And it's the same technique sometimes with painting when I don't know what to paint and I just throw colour on a canvas.
Yeah.
But anyway, I ended up, Josephine really likes this poem. I don't know why. I wanted to take it out. It must be good if Josephine likes it because I trust her judgment.
Yes.
This is called Heart. I don't know why I called it Heart. April is here, and so is spring, and so is Easter, and so is the first day after the last day of my previous life. Where I go from here is entirely up to me. Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle to write today. The words haven't really flowed up to this point, but it's starting to get better now. And I have to say, though writer's block's a bit of a bastard, I always try to stare it down. My car needs a service. The bread's gone mouldy. I think I've got an incurable disease. I don't remember getting up this morning. You look like an angel, but I don't tell you. I fear I'm just filling in spaces on the paper with curly blue lines from my ballpoint pen, and that just doesn't really count because it's a cop-out, isn't it? Oh, look at me. I've written 300 words of absolute nothingness. The rubbish needs recycling. I haven't got any milk. I think I need a shave today. No, don't put that down. I wish I could write about something profound. Bananas, chairs, microwave ovens, swinging from the chandelier. My oldest relative died last week. I never got round to asking her about my dad. But I need to keep moving the pen because the writing has stopped flowing again. So I'll try and kick it off by writing about how it stopped flowing, because that sometimes works, but not on this occasion. I fear I'm just filling in spaces on the paper with curly blue lines from my ballpoint pen. And that just doesn't really count because it's a cop-out, isn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. That's got
Quite right to leave it in.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. Well done, Josephine. Listen up, Derek.
Josephine likes it left in.
Josephine's my guru, you know?
Massive thumbs up, my friend.
And you performed that beautifully.
Brilliant.
Beautifully
Thank you,
performed.
Derek.
Really brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So before we close up tonight, I want to say thank you to everybody who's come, and specifically a big thank you to Jason, who always does all our background stuff, and also helped with the cover of this book. To Peter, of course, because without Peter there would be no Black Eyes and there would be no Wasp in the Cockpit. There may be other books by Derek Dohren, I'm sure there would be, but perhaps not this particular one. And certainly that poem wouldn't be in it. So thanks to me for that. Also a big thank you to Brian Franco, to Catrice Greer for coming along when she was feeling so poorly and doing that poem so brilliantly, to Maria T, thank you very much. And of course, to fabulous Suze Winspear. Can I have a big round of applause for that first half, please? Then we had a break and we heard more and more about waffles from Brian Franco and Gary H. And then, of course, we had Ziggy, brilliant poetry, really rich, thick, and I'm not surprised he has been mentioned as a sort of different Seamus Heaney.
Yeah.
Then we had the fabulous Kathy Carson, who rings our heartstrings every time she does a poem. It's wonderful to have you here, Kathy. Thank you. Then we had the amazing Clive Osmond and Her Majesty the Queen. And topped off with wonderful Carol Shepherd, who did us 2 brilliant poems. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and of course, Derek Dohren himself. So I want an enormous, fabulous whoop, cheer, clap, noise, please.
Oh, Derek.
Thank you. It's been a lovely
Thank you
night.
so
I hope
much.
you've enjoyed
Wonderful
it.
evening.
It's been fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I knew it would be. I knew it would be. I knew everybody who would come would enjoy it.
Cheers to Derek and your blue drink.
Yeah, cheers,
Your
Derek.
blue drink.
Sorry, it's only in water.
Your new laptop.
Cheers to your blue wine.
Blue? What's the matter with it?
So, Smurf wine, isn't it, or something?
It's a nice Spanish Rioja.
Ah. And if you get the chance to find the cats of the, I've forgotten the name of it now.
The Cats of the River Darrow.
That's the one. Find it. It is the most weird but fabulous book you probably ever read. And actually, as I read it, I found that quite a lot of your poetry and poems, especially in Everything Rhymes with Orange, comes from that book. So
Yeah. Isabel has its roots in there.
Yes,
and so does the Infinity poem. Yeah.
fabulous. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, it was lovely to hear you read too, Josephine.
Thank you.
In your erotic kind of loveliness. You do.
I think I'm still doing narrative poems, but they're getting shorter.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Ziggy.
No, I don't know how you finish a night like that. So
Oh, you
I
tell
mean, we
you
won't
tell
hold
everybody-
Jason up too long, but please feel free to have a short chat amongst
You
us.
tell everybody that hasn't bought it to buy Derek's book.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, you must.
Excellent book.
And there's a special offer on, if you haven't already bought Everything Rhymes with Orange, if you get one from Derek, you get it at a better price. The two
Thank you.
together.
It feels rude telling people to go and buy books, so I'm not going, but
How
if you
can
want
you
to,
say that
No,
when
you
you've
got
got
to
already?
I the fucking
say it.
Ziggy
Said it's often. I end up with two flipping books. Hi, Ziggy.
How did you manage that? What have you been doing, Ziggy?
It's Derek has a. If you go onto the chat page, I put the details on there. I put a link to Derek's website so you can get his book from him, signed, of course, and a deal for both books together. It's also available from the new bookshop.org, which is something that is supposedly trying to rival Amazon, although it's quite small at the moment. You do pay postage on that though, so but all the books are on there. Obviously it's on Amazon, and I know a lot of people don't like Amazon, but it's the biggest market out there, so it's the biggest bookseller there is at the moment. So it's,
and those of you who might happen to bump into me in the street can see me personally face to face, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, get on a bus, Derek, come see you.
Get on the bus, yeah. Use your local bus service.
Forester Dean, and you're bound to find
They'll
it.
come see you, Carol, innit? Yeah.
I can understand you not wanting to get on one of my buses. Never mind.
Especially
you
after
drop
he
one off
takes
for me, Derek.
I'm just going to avoid bus shelters.
Yeah, don't stand under a bus shelter.
Hey, all right.
Well, me hang around a bus shelter. Hey, oh.
Have you know that was very traumatic.
I'm sure it was. And the one outside your house too. I mean, how did you manage that?
And yeah, it's never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
A lot of practice, didn't it, Derek?
Yeah, a lot of accuracy.
It brought out a fabulous poem anyway. So
Yeah.
Oh,
everyone.
what price a bus shelter to get a poem like that?
Several £1,000 apparently.
That'd be the most expensively made poem.
I'm going to have to get going, guys, but thanks very much. And
Okay, thank
Cheers,
you.
Dave.
Thanks,
Ever so
Ziggy.
much,
Darling.
Ziggy.
Bye, Dave.
Lovely to see you, Catrice.
Bye,
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, all. Thanks for a lovely evening. Take care.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. That was brilliant.
Stay safe.
Cheers, everyone.
Good night.
Has the main man gone? Has he gone? Where's
Who?
Derek?
I'm
Has he
still
gone?
here.
Derek gone. No,
I'm going to
stay
be the
here,
last.
Derek.
I'm going to be the last
He's
one
gone
to
to the
go.
toilet. Go and get another glass of
It's in Daisy World.
something.
I don't really understand it. When
Daisy
people
World,
go,
yeah.
everybody moves around. It's really
I know.
I know, it's really confusing. It blows your mind. Everybody just goes.
There you go.
Look at that Daisy World, though, Derek. You clever.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and Jason were getting like, yes, Daisy World, weren't we?
Do you like Lovelock and his theory? I think it's brilliant.
It's
I
used
didn't know anything about it, so this
Jason,
is
you'll
really...
know all about it.
It's used a lot in Japanese manga, Gaia.
Yeah.
Oh, Gaia,
Yeah.
yeah. But I didn't sort of relate it to Daisy World for some reason.
Yeah.
So cool. And show us your lovely nail varnish, Derek, darling. Because I see that.
It's not that great when you're close up.
No,
it's a bit
good.
rough, you know. But
When you're actually using your hands and not keeping them
Yeah.
black and yellow. I've gone for the waspy look, you know.
Of course, yeah. You just market that. See, look, photos now. Do the hand quick. The
You
photos.
should
look.
see what I'm wearing down below.
No, thanks.
Do we want
Oh, what's happened?
That's it. Just yeah.
That's
look
like
at
Wasp
that.
from the Cross Daisy world. Yeah,
That's so cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. Yeah.
It's coming off before I go back to work, though.
Well,
when you come to
Yeah, leave it on.
Definitely.
What are they
sorry,
saying?
hold on, guys, hold on. Sorry, Suze.
I was saying to Derek, when you come to speakeasy, I always love your fingernails.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, he used to wear green to squawkers.
I prefer you to say that you love my poetry, but I'll take that. I'll take it.
I shall be looking out for your speakeasy online, Suze. It's been such a long time since we've been able to get
Speakeasy
up
is
there.
a great night. If you ever get the chance to get along to the Speakeasy in Worcester, fabulous night.
Wow.
Always very welcoming and just
We hope to do the Zoom version on
Yeah.
December 17th. So
Yeah.
you'll see what's going up. I mean, it won't be quite the same. I'll be comparing, but I won't be running around with a raffle bucket because it'd be rather long.
Well, only around your house with the raffle bucket.
You can say we're going to do the raffle by PayPal. So click here, we'll get your numbers in.
Yeah, make sure you put a link at the bottom.
yeah.
Works.
Yeah, the great thing about doing a PayPal raffle is people don't have to have the crappy prizes.
You mean you can't get rid of the books that you've got that you can't get rid of?
Well, we had a biography of Tony Blair that was going as a prize, and it gave it back. I think we had it for about a year.
It's a good job it wasn't the autobiography of David Cameron. He wouldn't have taken it in the first place.
Oh,
No one would take that as a raffle prize, would they?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, an event I go to online, which I'm not going to be able to do anymore because I have to work on a Thursday night now, but Run Your Tongue, they do a raffle and they give like prizes away. And I received through the post, totally unexpectedly the other day, some Donald Trump socks.
There's got to be a poem in that, Clive. There's got to be a poem in that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The bottoms of my feet have gone orange.
Okay, listen, I'm going, guys, because I've got a child at some point to feed. Non-alcoholic food. I really enjoyed it. This is the main man. Derek gave me my first gig.
Yeah, because you're bloody good, that's why.
Oh,
And
bless
you
you.
didn't let me down. You were great.
Bless you. So good. Such a good night. Lovely to see everyone,
great,
really.
yeah.
Miss you all.
Hope to see you
around. See you
in the
around
flesh
soon.
Yeah.
Bye, Tish.
Bye.
Bless you, everyone. Bye.
Right. I think I better head off too.
Yeah, cool. I've got to eat me very late dinner.
Yes, I know you deserve.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
So thanks, Suze.
That was
Thanks,
great, thank
everybody.
you.
And Derek, it was fabulous.
Yeah, brilliant, Derek.
Don't
Thank you.
forget, keep plugging it.
Yeah. I
Keep
will,
plugging
Mum.
it.
Yeah.
And then people will send in and want some books. Yeah.
And I enjoyed the night in the end, even though I was a bit nervous. But
It wasn't as
good.
bad as the dentist, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No,
For a start, we weren't all dressed up in plastic.
no.
PP, whatever they call it, PPS or whatever
It's strange when you go to the opticians and they're all dressed in PPE. That's what I had today.
Are they?
Yeah.
Jeez. Even opticians.
Yeah.
Glad I'm no longer a podiatrist. I wouldn't have wanted to work with all that stuff on.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, we'll let you go and have
Okay,
your dinner,
people.
Jason.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Suze.
everybody.
Bye, Charlie.
See you all soon.
Take
See you all
care.
soon. Yeah, take care.
I'll see you real
Thank you.
soon.
Bye.
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 Bye.